Hello and welcome to Writing Wednesday. So it's actually been quite some time since I filmed a Writing Wednesday. I took a week off after getting my gum surgery, and then I took another week off to post my WandaVision review. But honestly, even though it's been 2 weeks since I filmed a Writing Wednesday, there honestly isn't that much for me to catch you up on. I really haven't been writing all that much in the few weeks since I've gotten my surgery. That did not go on very well with the brush. Let's try my finger. But anyway, what I have been doing in the past 2 weeks is really evaluating my goals for the year in terms of writing. And I realized I may need to shift some things around to get to where I want to go this year, or at least to get closer. So if you've watched my 2021 goals video, you'll know one of my goals for 2021 is to finish the first draft of my original sci-fi, which I started during NaNoWriMo of last year. But at the same time, I've also been working on and releasing chapters of my Winx Club fanfiction, Winx Club Evolved. Oh no, not again. How many times has this eyeliner broke on me on camera? So anyway, I realized in the few weeks I took off that I have been writing more Winx Club fanfiction than I have my original sci-fi. Because unlike my original sci-fi, which will only be released in its kind of complete form, there's an expectation for me to release a chapter of Winx Club Evolved every week. And while the chapters of Winx Club Evolved are pretty short, I just think in my mind it kind of pushes up the priority of Winx Club fanfiction above that of my original sci-fi. But you know, it's not like there wasn't a reason to release chapters of the Winx Club fanfiction. I mainly started after the announcement of Fate the Winx Saga. It was a thing everyone was talking about, so it made sense to start writing that fanfiction again. Like I said, I originally had started writing that fanfiction back in 2015, but Fate the Winx Saga has been out for a while now, and so I figured this is going to be a good time to take a break from writing fanfiction in order to focus on my original sci-fi. So I already have kind of like 1.5 chapters of Winx Club Evolved already written that I haven't released yet. I'm not sure if I should just release that one last chapter that I've already completed and kind of just call it a day, or just for completionist sake, finish off that other chapter and then have 2 more weeks of chapters to release. It's like, should I finish this chapter that's already kind of half done, or am I just making more excuses in order to be able to continue writing this Winx Club fanfiction? Because I do enjoy writing it. Middle grade fiction, especially this Winx Club fanfiction that's obviously geared towards girls, in our real life world, gender is very much a spectrum, but if I was in like the marketing room with a bunch of suits, I would be like, ah yes, this is geared towards girls. And with that kind of content, I feel like you don't have to be as serious as you do in certain other genres. My original sci-fi being one of them. My original sci-fi, I'm still hesitant about whether or not to call it a true space opera. I feel like when people think of space opera, people tend to think of the older works of the genre that are almost kind of retro sci-fi at this point, so like the original Star Wars or Dune. But my original sci-fi, while it does pay homage to some of the older works of space opera, I think falls pretty firmly into the more modern space fantasy aesthetic. And unless you're Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, science fiction or anything involving space is a very serious genre. I would say this is also a problem in young adult and new adult, but especially adult, which is what I'm writing. Things are very deathly serious. And so when I'm writing my original sci-fi, I mean, it has its ups too, but just in terms of the process of writing it, I feel like sometimes I'm missing the fun of kind of the less serious genres, like what you get in a Winx Club middle grade fanfiction. I have thought about taking some of the concepts from my Winx Club fanfiction and trying to translate that into an original work in kind of the same way I took my Star Wars fanfiction, kind of pick and chose the things I did and didn't like about the Star Wars canon and the elements of this fanfiction I've been writing for what, like 6 years, and translating that into an original fiction. It's definitely something I'm not opposed to, but I kind of don't want to be working on two big first drafts like that at the same time, because another reason why I want to focus more on my original sci-fi is I kind of don't know how long it's going to be. I'm not looking to get my original sci-fi traditionally published, so the length can kind of be whatever I want, because I'm not trying to adhere to traditional publishing standards. But one of the pitfalls of that is that the book doesn't have as concrete of like an end game in terms of page count. In terms of where I am in writing the story in this first draft, I'm definitely still in kind of the first act. I know I technically have the whole year to finish writing this first draft, but with my plans to move to New York slowly becoming more concrete, the idea that I might be making the big move to New York this year is slowly becoming more of a reality. I keep doing this slowly thing because this move to New York has been in the works forever, technically even since before the pandemic started, but then put on hold by the pandemic. So to me, it feels like I've been waiting an eternity for this, but in reality, it's probably gonna come up sooner than my brain is willing to process. And I've talked about this before, when I do move to New York, it's probably gonna cause a huge shift in my productivity. Not just because, you know, I'll be moving to a new place and living in a new space, but also because since I won't be living at home anymore, where we're taking care of my grandma, I'll actually be able to see some of my friends again, some of whom have already been vaccinated. So what I'm saying is, if you don't see me for a while on YouTube, it's probably because I am hanging out and catching up with all my friends who I haven't seen in over a year now. But yeah, that's it for my Writing Wednesday this week. Feels a little weird filming in the chair again. Although that's not fair, because I do film in this chair in this exact spot when I live stream on Mondays and Fridays. Fridays is just a chatty work stream, but we all hang out. And then Monday are live fanfiction readings. Speaking of live fanfiction readings, this next Monday, I will be reading more of Winx Club Evolved, my Winx Club fanfiction that I've just been talking about. So yeah, if you're looking forward to that, make sure to subscribe. And until then, I will see you next time.